Hello everyone, I welcome everyone to this new video. Today we are going to read about 73rd and 74th Constitutional Amendment Act and PESA Act, that is Panchayat Extension to Scheduled Areas Act 1996. So yesterday we have studied about all the committees related to Panchayati Raj institutions. So in the last committee, that is LM Singhvi committee, recommended to give recommended that PRI should be constitutionally recognized, and from that recommendation only the then government uh, uh, passed 73rd and 74th Constitutional Amendment Act in the Parliament in 1992. Okay, so let's get started. So first is 73rd Constitutional Amendment Act. Okay, so it inserted in part 9 in the Constitution of India. So this is important. 73rd Constitutional Amendment Act, it is in which part? So answer is part 9. Okay, also added 11th schedule. Okay, schedule to the constitution. Okay, so basically 73rd Constitutional Amendment Act added one more schedule to the our constitution, and that is 11th schedule. So this is also important in the exam. They may ask Panchayati Raj institution is in which schedule? It is 11th schedule. Okay, now constitution which contain that is which contain 29 functional items of Panchayat. Okay, in the 11th schedule, Panchayat is 11th schedule is all about Panchayat, and in the Panchayat total 29 functional items are there. Okay, so this is also important. In the exam they may ask total how many functional items are there in Panchayat. I think this is a previous year question also. Okay, total how many subjects are there in the 9th schedule, in the 11th schedule. Okay, now about this act, what are the major features of that in this act? Major features. Okay, features are: number 1, a 3-tier system of Panchayati Raj for all states having population over 20 lakh. Okay, now you need to remember this concept. Okay, this limitation, that is 20 lakh. If any state, if the population is less than 20 lakh, then Panchayati Raj system will not applicable to that state, or this 73rd Constitutional Amendment Act will not be applicable to that particular state. Okay, next is Panchayat election after every 5 years. Okay, so after every 5 years there has to be election in Panchayats. Okay, next, reservation for SCs, STs and women not less than 1/3 of seats. Okay. Next, appointment of state finance commission. Okay, so basically this 73rd constitutional amendment act is mainly talks about these four features. One is a three-tier system would be installed. Okay, but in that state minimum population should be 20 lakh. Panchayat election after every 5 years. So duration of Panchayati Raj administration is 5 years. A reservation for SCs, STs and women. Okay, for women not less than one third of total number of seats. Okay, and also to appoint a state finance commission. Okay, who will decide the finances of this panchayat. Next is, now this was the main features. Now what is the structure of administration in the PRIs? Okay, according to 73rd Constitutional Amendment Act. So now we will discuss about administrative structure of the PRIs. Okay, administrative structure of PRIs. Okay, according to 73rd Constitutional Amendment Act. Now understand one thing. Earlier we have seen the different structure of the PRIs, but remember one thing: those structures were just a recommendation of particular committee, but this structure is the this structure is backed constitutionally. Okay, this structure is made through amendment. Okay, by passing law in the parliament. So all states will have uniform 3-tier PR system. Okay, so 3-tier PR Panchayati Raj system. So what will be those 3-tier Panchayati Raj system? Three tier will be: number one is Gram Panchayat. Okay, Gram Panchayat. And what will it cover? Basically it will cover a village or a group of villages. Okay, this will be called as Gram Panchayat. Next is Mandal. Okay, and Mandal will cover basically a block or taluka. Okay, next is Zilla Parishad. Okay, Zilla Parishad will cover entire rural area of the district. Now some of you will say, if Zilla Parishad is the rural area of the district, then what about the other areas in the district, that is urban area? So for urban area it is municipality or something else we will discuss. Okay, for now just understand, in the 73rd Constitutional Amendment Act, Zilla Parishad is in the Zilla Parishad will constitute entire rural area of that particular district. Okay, next is, it made 73rd Constitutional Amendment Act made provision for mandatory creation of Gram Sabha. This is very important. Okay, So this amendment mandates that to form or to create Gram Sabha. Okay. Now what will be the structure of Gram Sabha? Means what will constitute the Gram Sabha? Gram Sabha will constitute, it will comprise all the adult members registered as voters in the Panchayat area. Okay. So this is the administrative structure of PRIs according to 73rd Constitutional Amendment Act. Here important things are, it is 3-tier. Okay. What are the different tiers? Gram Panchayat, Mandal and Zilla Parishad. Okay. And it also it made mandatory provision to form Gram Sabha. Okay. So these are the three important points of 73rd Constitutional Amendment Act. Now, what will be the election procedure of PRIs according to 73rd Constitutional Amendment Act? Now we'll study this. Okay. Election to PRIs, Panchayati Raj institutions. Now, number one, all the three levels of PRI are elected directly by the people. Now this is important one. Okay, all the three levels of PRI, that is Gram Panchayat or block level and in the Zilla Parishad, all the members will be elected directly. Okay, so this is important, directly. Next, the term, what will be the term of office? The term of each Panchayat body is 5 years. Okay, this is also important. Next, suppose if by any situation this before that 5-year completion, that Panchayat dissolves. Okay, now what will be in that situation, what will be the case? So in case of dissolution of any Panchayat, before end of 5 year, okay, then fresh election within 6 months. Okay, and it will last for only remaining term of previous Panchayat period. Okay, now understood. So if any Panchayat dissolves, then within 6 months election has to be take place, and that new Panchayat will last for the remaining period of the previous Panchayat. Okay. Next, no person shall be disqualified on the ground that he is less than 25 years of age. If he or she attains the age of 21 years. Okay, so these are just factual things. Just read and remember these facts. Okay, now about State Election Commission. Elections of Panchayat, we have seen what will be the system, how they will be elected, what will be the term of their office. Okay, now State Election Commission. This is important. State Election Commission. Now the complete process of election will take care by the State Election Commission. Okay, so what will basically State Election Commission will do? It will basically control and preparation of electoral rolls and conduct of all elections to the panchayats. Okay, so basically the State Election Commission will control and prepare all the electoral rolls, and also it will conduct the elections of the panchayat. So basically, if the question asks who is the in charge of conducting election in the panchayats, it is State Election Commission. Okay, not Central Election Commission. Okay, remember this. So this was all for 73rd Constitutional Amendment Act. Now we will study is 74th Constitutional Amendment Act. 74th Constitutional Amendment Act. Now what will be the levels of municipal? See, understand, 74th Constitutional Amendment Act is basically related to the in the earlier I have discussed that 73rd Constitutional Amendment is all about constructing panchayats in the rural areas of the district. So in the same way, urban areas of the districts, in that area what will be the system of panchayats? Okay, what will be the administration process and everything we'll discuss in the 74th Constitutional Amendment Act. So here in the urban bodies, okay, in the urban areas of the district, what will be the levels? Okay, so basically levels of local self government, or local self government is also municipal bodies. In the urban bodies it is municipal bodies. So number one is a nagar panchayat. ठीक है, nagar panchayat basically structure is like this. Okay, so in the lowest level it is nagar panchayat. Okay, now what is nagar panchayat? It is basically a town council. Okay, for transitional areas. Transitional areas means in that urban areas of that district, among the all the urban areas, the areas which are yet to developed. Okay, so that transitional area will be called as nagar panchayat. Okay, next is municipal council. Okay. Now what is municipal council? It is for basically for a smaller urban area. Okay. So it is a urban area, but it is a smaller urban area. Okay. Next is municipal corporation. Okay. So what is municipal corporation? Municipal corporation is for a larger urban area. So remember it like this. Nagar Panchayat is for transitional areas. Municipal council is for smaller urban areas, and municipal corporation is for larger urban areas. Okay. Now, what will be the term of office of each body for Nagar Panchayat or municipal council or municipal corporation? It is 5 year. Okay. Next, what will be the election process? Election will be an independent state election commission will conduct the election. Okay. Now what will be the reservation? In the election, so reservation will be seats reserves for SCs and STs. Okay, in proportion to their population in the municipal area. Okay, areas. So basically seats for SCs and STs will be in proportion with the population of that municipal area. Okay, there has to be a proportion. Okay, there cannot be a disproportion. Next is mandatory provision what is that mandatory provision? 1/3 of every elected urban body for women. So basically it is saying the 1/3 of the seats will be reserved for women. Okay. Now what will be the finances in the municipality? What will be the finance structure? A state finance commission will review municipalities and make recommendations. Okay. So basically the finance of that particular municipality or that area will be depend on that finance commission of the state. Okay. According to the reviews of that finance commission, the fund or the finance or the budget of that area, that body will depend. Okay. Now planning. Okay. Now how these bodies will work? What will be their basically administrative structure? Via district planning committee. Okay, so in the district there will be a district planning committee. Okay, that district planning committee will plan the developmental work for the whole urban areas of the districts. Okay, or district planning committee, or if it is metropolitan city, then it will be a metropolitan Metropolitan Planning Committee. Okay. Now, what is the difference between planning committee and municipal planning committee? Now we will understand this. Okay. District planning committee. Okay. And this side, metropolitan planning committee. Okay. What is the objective? First we will understand the objective of district planning committee. The objective is to consolidate the developmental plans prepared by panchayats and municipalities. Okay. And what is the objectives of metropolitan planning committee? The objective is same here. Okay. Next is one important note. What is that note? District planning committees are not remember this, not constituted in fifth scheduled areas and sixth scheduled areas. Okay. See, district planning committee will not be there in the areas of fifth scheduled areas and sixth scheduled areas. So in the same way, if you know what is metropolitan city, it will define this note. So a metropolitan city is an area having a population of 10 lakhs or more. Okay. So a metropolitan city is a city where the population of that city is more than 10 lakhs or 10 lakhs. Okay. Now, member, what will be the composition? Okay, what will be the composition of district planning committee? Basically composition. So composition is like that. State legislature makes provisions regarding the composition and manner of filling seats. So the state legislature decides the composition of district planning committee. Okay, but in the metropolitan planning committee, a minimum 2/3 of the members of the metropolitan planning committee shall be elected member. Okay, so you remember this. Okay, this is very important. The important point here is this note. Okay, so district planning committee is not there in the fifth and sixth schedule areas. Okay, now next is PESA, PESA, PESA Act. Okay, PESA. What is this? This is Panchayat Extension to Schedule Areas Act 1996. Okay. Now what is this act? What is this act is all about? Okay. Now understand one thing. Provisions of 73rd Amendment were not made applicable to the areas inhabited by the Adivasi population in the many states of the India. Okay, so basically it is saying the 73rd Constitutional Amendment, that is Panchayats, okay, or Panchayats in the urban bodies also. Panchayats were not made applicable to the areas inhabited by the Adivasis, means the places where the population of Adivasi population is Adivasi populations are there. In those areas, the 73rd Amendment were not made applicable. Okay. So in 1996, a separate act was passed extending the provisions of this panchayat system to that areas. So basically, in the Adivasi areas, Adivasi dominated areas, there is no 73rd or 74th constitutional amendment. Okay, that is, in that area panchayat was not made applicable. So for that area, a separate act was passed to regulate those areas. Okay, so now we'll understand what is that particular act. Now that act is PESA Act, Panchayat Extension to Scheduled Areas. Okay, so what is the objective? Basically, what is the objective of that act? Objective is the act extends part 9 of the Constitution with certain modification certain modifications and exceptions to the 5th scheduled areas. Now what is 5th scheduled area? What is 5th scheduled area? It basically deals with administration and control of scheduled areas as well as scheduled tribes residing in any state. Okay, any state, but there is an exception. Other than AMTM, in the previous videos I have discussed what is AMTM, that is Assam, Meghalaya, then Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura and Mizoram. Okay, so in this state there are 6 scheduled. Okay, there are 6 scheduled. Okay, so because there is a 6 scheduled area, there is no 5th scheduled area. Okay, remember that. Okay, now at present, in what are the different states where 5th schedule is there? Now you need to remember this. In the exam they may ask. So at present, At present, fifth schedule areas exist in 10 states. Now you need to remember these 10 states. What are those? Andhra Pradesh, okay, Chhattisgarh, Gujarat, Himachal Pradesh, Jharkhand, MP, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Odisha, Rajasthan, and Telangana. Okay. So these are the different 10 states where fifth schedule areas are there. So these are the areas where fifth schedule is there. Okay, fifth schedule. And AMTM. ठीक है, Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura, and Mizoram. So these states have sixth schedule. You should remember this state. Okay, in the exam they may directly ask which of the below states having fifth schedule or sixth schedule areas. Okay, now what is this act, PESA Act, empowers functions? Okay, how does it work? So PESA, PESA empowers Gram Sabha or Panchayat by number 1, ownership of minor forest product. Okay, it may be anything. Means this PESA Act empowers the Gram Sabha Panchayat to control this ownership of this forest minor product. For example, this honey collection, or some wood collection. Okay, that minimum level of wood, or some fruits, vegetables, etc. Okay, next is control over money lending to STs. So if someone is lending money to the STs in the fifth schedule areas, okay, in the PESA by the PESA Act, this money lending can be controlled, but not in the sixth schedule areas. Okay, this is only for the fifth schedule areas. Okay. So this was all for the PESA Act. So that's it for today. Tomorrow we are going to study about the urban local bodies. Okay, that is 74th Constitutional Amendment Act, as I discussed today. Tomorrow I will discuss the history of urban local bodies. I'll talk a little about 74th Constitutional Amendment Act also, and after that I will talk about types of urban local bodies. For example, municipal corporation, okay, then municipality, then notified area committee, town area committee, cantonment board, okay, township, port trust, okay, then special purpose agency. After that I will talk about 6 schedule areas. Okay, scheduled and tribal areas, 6 schedule areas. So that was all for today. Thank you everyone.